Last night was the Oscars. Biggest night of the year when it comes to the movies. And I got to say, overall, despite, we started off the show me talking about the things they got to fix and improve. Despite all that, great show. Very happy with a lot of the results, surprised by a couple of them. And I thought we would go down and go through, how we felt about some of the winners. But at first, before we do that, some statistics. First of all, this one battle after another, took home the most Oscars. Sinners did have the most nominees. Actually, Sinners set the all-time record for most nominations in a single year. What did they get? 16? 16 nominations. But One Battle After Another, as we expected, walked away with the most Oscars. They won 6. Sinners got a very impressive showing, won 4. Frankenstein ended up taking home 3 Oscars.
Kate Hawley, congratulations, Kate.
K-pop Demon Hunters won 2. And then Hamnet, Weapons, Sentimental Value, F1, and Avatar Fire and Ash all took home Oscars as well for the major films. From a studio perspective, it was Warner Brothers night. Warner Brothers ended up taking home 11 Oscars, most of them just for One Battle After Another and Sinners. Of course, they also got one for Weapons. Netflix got some for some documentaries, but they also won 2 for K-pop Demon Hunters and 3 for Frankenstein. Then Focus, Walt Disney, Apple, Neon, no Paramount.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's if there's anything that maybe.
Oh, wait a minute, wasn't F1 Paramount?
No, it's Apple.
That's right, it's Apple.
It was wasn't that distributed?
It's officially, but it's officially an Apple film. That's right. Yeah. I forgot about
Paramount won debt. So they got a lot of debt.
Paramount.
Yeah, they won debt, which I'm going to do an editorial on later tonight about their debt, but we'll talk about that later. Warner Brothers crushed it this year. Congratulations to them taking all those home.
Total result, by the way, of Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca's
Didn't you
running
love
of the studio.
All the call outs by the winners who would say Pam and
Mike
all night.
All night long. Yep.
So let's go over and take a look at some of the results. We won't go over every category, but we'll go through a bunch of them. First of all, we're going to start with Best Picture. Listen, I told you guys, it was a foregone conclusion. One Battle After Another was going to win Best Picture. It did. And you know what? I am thrilled for them. Thrilled for them. I love the movie. My vote would have been for Sinners, but One Battle After Another was so good. I have no complaints. 0 complaints. Rob, were you surprised at all? Did it play out the way you thought?
No, and I have to say, I watched Boogie Nights the night before, P.T. Anderson's movie, and I loved it, and I love that. But it was great to see him win 2 Oscars.
Yeah.
Well, which brings us into the next category, which was Best Director. What was it? He's been nominated
14 times.
14 times.
Jeez.
And last night, he took it home. Best Director, again, no surprise. We talked about it on our prediction show last week that he was going to win. Of course, he beat out Chloe Zhao, Josh Safdie, Wai Kim Tier, and Ryan Coogler for Best Director. By the way, fun little piece of trivia. James Cameron, Paul Thomas Anderson, and
Martin
Scorsese all won their first directing Oscars in movies starring Leonardo DiCaprio. After all the films Marty did, he had to do one with Leo to win Best Picture. Out of all the times Paul Thomas Anderson's been nominated, he had to do one with Leo DiCaprio to win Best Picture. So it's just a fun little piece of trivia there.
So he's the guy to work with, huh?
He's the guy to work with. You want your director Oscar. Then, of course, the only one I thought was a close race. Best Actor. And it went to Michael B. Jordan. I made an editorial video about this last week, Rob. The day before the SAG Awards, Timothée Chalamet was a 16-point favorite to win Best Actor. But then the actors voted. And by the way, the actors represent the largest block of the Academy. The actors voted. Timothée Chalamet won all the other ones. He, Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, all these different awards. He won them all. But the night before the SAG Awards, Timothée Chalamet, 16-point favorite. Then Michael B. Jordan won at the SAG Awards. The day after the SAG Awards, Michael B. Jordan became a 21-point favorite. Overnight. The rest of the industry voting was great. But the actors then voted, and apparently, what I was told by a couple of members of SAG, it was a really close vote between Timothy Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan. And apparently it was really close again, but Michael B. Jordan ends up taking home the Oscar. Look, again, a little bit different. I would have voted, my vote would have been for Timothy Chalamet. I just think he gave overall the best performance of the year. But Michael B. Jordan was so damn good in this movie. I have no problems. Like, again, much like Best Picture, I would have voted for Sinners, but I'm totally good with One Battle. I would have voted for Timothy Chalamet, but Michael B. Jordan was so good. I got no qualms with this one either. Rob, did this work out the way you expected? Were you surprised?
No, I thought it was great. I mean, I thought Timothy Chalamet, you know, I haven't really been following whatever controversy. It wasn't just the opera ballet thing. I mean, I like Timothy Chalamet a lot. We've talked about how great he is.
By the time that blew up, most of the voting was already done.
Yeah. So I love that Michael B. Jordan. I mean, I've been an unabashed fan of his since The Wire and since Friday Night Lights. I love seeing his journey. He's a great director. He's doing the Thomas Crown Affair right now, and the third version of that he's starring in. He's just, and his speech last night was so classy, and he was
best speech of the night.
He was so great.
And Jesse Buckley.
And you know, everybody who's been involved with Sinners, that's been on the awards circuit, anybody who's stood up, especially Ryan Coogler leading the way, have been nothing but gracious and thankful and inclusive to all their great collaborators. Ludwig Göransson won as well. I mean, it's great to see two college roommates killing it in Hollywood from USC. I mean, I love everybody that made this movie. More power to them. They've shown us how it's done. Class and grace all the way around.
All right. By the way, as a side note, when earlier in the Oscars, they announced that there was a tie for best short live action, I turned to Ann and I said, and my buddies who were there, and I said, I'm willing to put $5 down that when it comes to best actor, they're going to announce a tie. Wow. Between, I honestly, I really was expecting it. I thought they're going to announce a tie between Timothy Chalamet and Michael B. Jordan, but it went to Michael B. Jordan. All right. Best actress. We've been saying all along, this was the one category this year that was the lock of locks. There was no question going into it whatsoever. Jessie Buckley won for best actress for her insane performance in Hamnet. Now, I heard some people criticizing her because when they announced her name, she freaked out. People say, come on, man, she knew she was going to win because she won all the other awards. Listen, I'll tell you what. You don't know. When you're sitting there, because listen, on 1,000 times smaller scale, I remember the first time we were nominated for best live series online at the International Academy of Web Television. Had the big ceremony out in Las Vegas. Bunch of us from the team went out to Las Vegas for it. They put a big broadcast production. We knew, in theory, that we were the favorites to win. We knew that in advance. But until they actually got up there and said movie talk, I was still shocked when it happened. And that's on an infinitesimally small means nothing scale. So like she's sitting there and they read her name and I just that reaction of hers I thought was priceless. And her speech was fantastic.
So great.
Her and Michael B. Jordan again just had amazing speeches. I don't think anybody else was even at all realistically in the running. And I thought she deserved it. Rob, and by the way, Chloe Zhao, second time she's directed an actress to win Best Actress at the Academy Awards. Nice feather in her cap, too. What did you think about this?
I thought it was great. I'll tell you one thing. Having seen The Bride, the week before?
Yeah. She's so good in that.
But I was looking for The Bride in Jessie Buckley. Totally different. Like, she's a chameleon. And she's so heartbreaking in Hamnet, and just watching her get up and be all the buoyant Irish beauty that she is. I mean, I was like, wow, she really is an amazing actress.
Did you see her in Fargo, season 4?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
she's so good.
Incredible. She's incredible. No, I thought it was great. I thought both of them were great. It was great. Highlight of the evening.
All right. Another one that I was very happy to see. Best Supporting Actor, Sean Penn. By the way, Sean Penn is now tied for the most acting Oscars in history. He's now got 3. He tied Daniel Day-Lewis and 2 others. I'm trying to remember who they were, but he got his 3rd.
Where was he?
He's not a fan of the Academy.
Yeah, I know.
He's very vocal about that. I'm actually going to do an editorial video about that at some point. But I think even though he has other Oscars, I thought this was his best performance. I just really thought his performance in this was that good. I am so glad that he won. And I just thought, and you know what? The other interesting thing is this. I think Sean Penn winning, who has been extremely critical of the Academy, he does not like the Academy. The Academy doesn't particularly like him. But it kind of proves the point, like all these conspiracy theorists and stuff like that, like, oh, this person didn't win? Well, that's because the so-and-so don't like them.
Right.
No. This is the thing that I always try to tell people about the Academy. The 95% of the Academy voting members, because Rob, you know a bunch of them, and I know a bunch of them too. They don't give a crap about any of that other stuff. They don't give a crap about the noise. They don't give a crap about this. Sean Penn hates them, and they hate Sean Penn.
I mean, he gave his awards away.
And at the end of the day, they're like, but Sean Penn was the best performance, so we're voting for him. It doesn't matter that he doesn't like us. It doesn't matter that we don't particularly like him. He gave the best performance, and we're voting for it, and that's the way it should be. And on top of the fact that I just thought he did give the best performance, I was thrilled to see it. Were you surprised? Because listen, there was a little bit of momentum for Jacob Elordi. Skarsgård had some momentum going into it as well. Delroy Lindo was kind of an emotional favorite going. Benicio del Toro. A lot of people thought if somebody was going to win from that, it was Benicio, who was great. But I thought they got it right with Sean Penn.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I never felt that anybody. I thought he was a lock the whole time. So, and he was, and indeed, you know, I don't have any qualms with that.
All right. We move on now to Best Supporting Actress, which we all thought going into it, it was going to be Madigan, and sure enough, it was her. There was some late thought that Woomy from Sinners might get it. Elle Fanning also from Sentimental Value. By the way, that movie's Sentimental Value is amazing. I was late to it. It's amazing. Anyway, Amy Madigan wins in one I thought was one of the best feeling moments of the year because, you know, I was talking to the people I was with watching the Oscars, including on the live stream, and I said, it's great seeing young talent get rewarded and get Oscars. That's great. I love it. But there's also something really cool when you come to the Oscars and you see somebody like Amy Madigan, you see somebody like Delroy Lindo, you see somebody like Stellan Skarsgård, Delroy and Stellan, who historic careers, both of them their first nominations. Crazy. To see somebody like Amy Madigan, who has contributed to this industry and to the art for decade after decade after decade, and then getting up there and being recognized for this achievement, because she's gone through it all, you know, and to her stand up there and you saw that, and I thought that was a beautiful moment. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Factor. Hey guys, you know how it is. Between the daily live show, tracking the latest box office numbers, and planning our next movie meetup in the van, my schedule gets absolutely hectic. Now, somewhere between the first warm weekend and realizing short season is getting close, eating well stops just being optional. Factor is how we stop letting a busy schedule be our excuse. They provide fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. I had their smoky Gouda mac and shredded beef after a long editing session last week on that Spider-Man Rights video I did, and it was amazing. So whether you're looking for calorie smart options or the new Muscle Pro collection, which is perfect if you're getting back into a workout routine, they have 100 rotating weekly meals to keep things fresh. And the best part? They are always fresh, never frozen, and ready in just 2 minutes with zero prep and zero stress. I love it, and I think you will too. So head over to factormeals.com/Campea50off and use the code Campea50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. Anyway, what did you think about it?
Oh my God. Let me tell you how I love that. First of all, I've loved Amy Madigan since I saw her in Streets of Fire, in Walter Hill's Streets of Fire in 1984. I loved her in Field of Dreams. It was just like the 60s. She was great as Kevin Costner's wife. I love Amy Madigan, but I also, you know who I love more than Amy Madigan? Her husband, Ed Harris.
Yeah.
And to see, they've been married, like she said, forever. They've been married forever. They've been going strong. They're a power Hollywood couple. And to see the love between them, to see the look on Ed Harris's face, the pride, and the last thing she said, I want to call out my lovely Ed. You know, we've been together forever. I mean, Ed Harris has been a baller since he was in George Romero's movie Night Riders. Unbelievable. I've always loved Ed Harris. Wherever Ed Harris goes, I will follow. and apparently so will Amy Madigan. But more importantly, Ed Harris will follow her. And that's what I loved, is that power couple take home an Oscar. It was a beautiful moment, and Amy Madigan deserved it. By the way, playing a horror character, playing a genre monstrous witch, or as somebody put it on Film Week, the third time someone has won an Academy Award in Joker makeup. So I love that. I loved it so much, John.
It was great. Now, then we had some categories that we also said were foregone. We're not going to spend much time on these, but we had the screenplay categories. We knew that Best Adapted Screenplay was going to go to One Battle After Another. We knew that Ryan Coogler was going to win his first Oscar for Best Original Screenplay for Sinners. Those were foregone conclusions. No surprise there, and both well-deserved. What was not well-deserved was K-Pop Demon Hunters winning Best Animated Feature. I'm obsessed with the soundtrack.
You knew that was going to happen, though.
I really thought Zootopia was going to win. I saw that the betting odds was K-Pop Demon Hunters. I understood all that, but I still, at the end of the day, thought that the better film, Zootopia 2, would win. I'm the only person in this household that is not a big K-Pop Demon Hunters as a movie fan. Again, I love the soundtrack. I'm obsessed with it, but I didn't think the movie was that good, but whatever. Good for them. They ended up taking home 2 Oscars. Everybody knew Golden was going to win the Oscar for Best Song, and they did end up taking home Best Animated Feature as well. So, good to them. Fair play on them. I was, but you weren't surprised at all that it took that home?
No. By the way, it was a really strong category this year.
It was.
All of those movies were. Well, Elio, maybe not Elio. I didn't love Elio. But Amelie, Little Amelie, pardon me, is a wonderful film.
Yeah, Amelie's a different film.
Zootopia 2 is great. So, but I knew it was going to win.
And this was the first year I can remember in a while that multiple foreign films were nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
See, because normally speaking, Best Foreign Film category at the Oscars is a waste of time, because if one of the nominees for Best Foreign Feature is nominated for Best Picture, then there's no mystery there. Only one of the nominees was good enough to actually get nominated for Best Picture. Clearly, that movie is going to win Best Foreign Film. But this year we had 2. We had The Secret Agent, which another one I was late to. Amazing. So good. Didn't deserve to win Best Picture, but deserved to be nominated. And Sentimental Value. It was actually an interesting race this year for Best International Feature, and it ended up going to Sentimental Value, which I think well-deserved. You know what? Sentimental Value might have been my 4th or 5th favorite film of the year overall.
Wow.
I thought it was that good. So congratulations to Sentimental Value for taking home, for the first time ever, a really interesting race for Best Foreign Language Film. All right, where did we go then after that? That was International Feature. We're not going to cover the documentary or the shorts. The initial Best Casting Award went to One Battle After Another. I thought it was going to come down between that and Sinners. Both of them incredible. I didn't think the cast in Hamnet was broad enough to really have in there. But were you surprised at One Battle?
No, I thought that was a great choice. What a great cast. And there was the one girl in the movie. It's her first feature film. And the actress, I forget the character she played, but it was, I saw an interview with her.
You're not talking about Chase Infinity, are you?
Am I talking about? I'm not sure.
Are you talking about One Battle After Another?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the actresses in that film, it was her very first feature film.
Really?
Yeah. And to me, that is a score. That's what a casting director can bring to you when you believe in them and they find that diamond in the rough that has never but steps up.
So then that would have been Chase Infinity. By the way, again, all due respect to Taylor, who was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, but the actress from One Battle After Another that should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actress was not her. It was Chase Infinity. I thought she was the heart of the movie. But anyway, then we got to a category that had my household very excited. Best Cinematography. Because not only for the first time in the history of the Academy Awards did a woman win for Best Cinematographer, but it was a Filipino woman. So my living room exploded because I had my wife, her sister, their mom was all here. And so the best cinematographer for, again, Sinners, Autumn Durald Arcapa, who I hope that's the right pronunciation of her last name. She won. Filipino woman won it. So my household was all very, very, very excited. So they were very happy to see that. Best costume design ended up going to Frankenstein. Also, best hair and makeup went to Frankenstein. No surprise there. Totally deserved it on both fronts.
By the way, you can watch my interview with Kate Hawley that I did recently here on this channel and the Designing Hollywood show. Now, I should change the thumbnail. Academy Award winning Kate Hawley.
Yep. Best film editing went to One Battle After Another's Andy Jurgensen, who won, had a nice speech too. Of course, there were 2 winners for best short. And then we get down to best original score. Ludwig Göransson wins his third. This dude looks like he's going to a frat party, and he's already got 3 Oscars on his mantle. 3.
He had a great speech too.
He did talk about his dad
putting
and
guitar in his hands.
I mean, if you could go back in time and look at a dorm room at USC where these 2 film students are rooming together, little guy by the name of Ryan Coogler and this long-haired hippie guy, Ludwig Göransson, roommates, and look at what they have achieved. And this guy now has 3 Oscars.
And I would add Michael B. Jordan, Michael B. Jordan, who starred in Fruitvale Station, who starred in Creed, who starred as Killmonger in Black Panther, and now doing this. It's the team. I think some of the most successful people in Hollywood are those people that find their team. And once they have that, it's like Martin Scorsese working with Thelma Schumacher, and you work with your team and everybody knows their roles and everybody, becomes world-class together. There's nothing stronger for anybody who's trying to make movies than having a team.
And having the right people that you can work with and trust. And that has clearly worked out for Ryan and has clearly worked out for Ludwig. So congratulations to him. Now, he was nominated for another Oscar last night for Best Song, but he lost that one, and it went to Best Original Song, went to Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. And you know what? I got to tell you, I fell in love with the story of the woman who wrote and sang the song, EJ. The one who sings the voice of Rumi in K-Pop Demon Hunters. The fact that she comes from this background where she was put through this grinder farm system in Korea about trying to produce K-pop stars, and they have an academy for it. That's how artificial the whole music business has become. And she went through it for years and then ultimately rejected, saying, you don't have what it takes, and now you're too old, and you're out. And she just goes on to become the biggest star in the world. I mean, good for her. I just felt so good for her when she won. And again, the music in it is incredible and great. And so good for them. So anyway, that was the Oscars last night. Again, I thought overall, I'm a huge Conan O'Brien fan. I thought he was kind of flat for it. We went through all the things I wish they would improve upon. But overall, I mean, a feel-good presentation.
Yeah.
Any other highlights for you, Rob?
You know what? Not especially, but the overall, it tells you the healthy state that the art of cinema is in. All of these nominees were very much worthy nominees. The films I thought this year were incredible. Even films that didn't win, like the Spanish film Surat. Incredible motion pictures are still being made today. And I think that and seeing like having Paul Thomas Anderson, who's had his nose to the grindstone since making Hard 8, aka Sydney, back in the 90s. And he's been doing nothing but turning out incredibly diverse films, going from Licorice Pizza to Phantom Thread to this, to Boogie Nights to Punch Drunk Love. I mean, and he wins. I love seeing that. I love seeing that we awarded people this year that were incredibly deserving, and it made me excited to see what they all do next. So that's the best thing I think that I can say from the whole award show.
Guys, question is for you. What did you think? Did some of your favorites win? Did some of your favorites not win? Whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.